welcome to the video on the respiratory system. So, if this diagram over here was for you, we'll explain how the respiratory system works. So, all organisms need oxygen and expel carbon dioxide. From a respiratory system, we use our nose and our mouth to get this oxygen. How does it get inside? Well, when oxygen is taken in, it travels into our body through our nose and our mouth into what is known as the oral and nasal cavity. After it goes inside there, it reaches the pharynx. The pharynx is a tube used for both food and oxygen. But before anything can go into the pharynx, it has to be given a little treatment by the nose. If this was the nose and the oxygen came in, well, first of all, the nose filters out bad particles through hairy structures called cilia. Also, the nose also has mucus. This mucus helps heat the air and moisten it so it can be conveyed directly to the lungs. Okay, so back to the pharynx. In comes the air, goes to the pharynx. After the pharynx comes the epiglottis. The epiglottis is like a chute. One side of it goes down directly to the stomach. It's known as the esophagus. The other side goes directly to the lungs. When a piece of food comes down the pharynx, the epiglottis obviously opens the way to the stomach. When oxygen comes down the pharynx, it opens the way to the lungs. This maintains or makes sure that no food gets into the lungs. So after the epiglottis comes the trachea. This is the way to our lungs. The trachea is about 2 to 3 centimeters thick. It is a tube reinforced by cartilage to make it stronger. It is also about 12 centimeters long. The trachea splits down into 2 smaller tubes. These are called the bronchi. Not bronchites, bronchi. And then the bronchi split down into smaller tubes, smaller branches called bronchioles. We have them both in a right and left lung. Now, a little message on bronchioles. So after the bronchites separate into bronchioles, they become smaller and smaller and smaller branches. Each of these branches have little sacs at the ends of them. These sacs are more commonly known as alveoli. Alveoli are covered with tiny little tubes, tiny little veins. These veins carry oxygenated and non-oxygenated blood. Alveoli help non-oxygenated blood becomes oxygenated. Now back to our diagram. All these bronchi and bronchioles are encased in the lungs. We have one for the left, we have one for our right and for our left. And our lungs are helped by the thoracic diaphragm. So a little note on breathing. Well, you see, our lungs cannot do the breathing by themselves. They are just membrane sacs with air breaking down and with enzymes that break down air. What helps the lungs to breathe is known as the thoracic diaphragm. Thoracic diaphragm is like a C-shaped membrane at the bottom. When the thoracic diaphragm is relaxed, the lungs are compressed. The thoracic diaphragm is curved upward. This allows all the air in our lungs to go out. This would be when you exhale. But when our lungs, or when our thoracic diaphragm is not relaxed, it expands the size of our lungs and brings in oxygen. This is when we inhale. So back to our diagram, and to recap. So air comes into the nose or the mouth, it travels down into the throat, and finally reaches the lungs. This is your respiratory system. Thanks for watching. This video was made by Furkan Saidi, grade 10 for Miss Clemmy's Bio Honors class. If you like this video, please give it some likes. Thank you very much.